Okay, testing the microphone. Looks like I'm on. All right. Got a couple minutes yet. Just like to hop on here a few minutes early and uh, get set up. Let's see. We have we had a birthday party here tonight, and folks are just leaving. So it wasn't because of this. Um, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing the show tonight. But everybody left, so or in the process of leaving, so I figured I'd hop on here, and then we'll be starting here pretty quick. Let's see here. And we'll share it to the Harrisville Haunted House and to the ChillerNight Facebook group page. Okay, share the group. ChillerNight, here we go. Alright. Looking good. Look at that. Look at that. I still got like a minute and a half left. Tom says, good evening all. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us. Lasercorn says, hey, peeps, reporting live from State College tonight. All right, thanks for joining us. Paul says, hi, Brian. How are you and the family? You're doing good. Doing real good. Tom says, light's still on the Fritz brand? Yes. Well, the one light is complete. I didn't order another bulb yet, to be honest. I just didn't get to it. But yeah, it's a little darker in the dark domain than it usually is. Let's see. All right. So salutations there, back and forth. Yes. Maybe I'll order another studio light this week. We'll see. We'll see. All right, 7:59. Oh, the anticipation. All right, I think I'm all set up. How's everybody doing out there? And oh, it's 8 o'clock. Here we go. Hey everybody, this is Brian Hogue. Welcome to the ChillerNight Live pre-show, where from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until a few minutes shy of 9 p.m. I get on here, I chat with you and you with each other, and we'll talk about the ChillerNight television programming coming up on Stream TV at 9 o'clock. So this is our pre-show, which goes on for an hour. And we'll throw that schedule up here in just about a minute. And then we'll throw that up a couple times. And in the meantime, somewhere in between all this, we'll chat about anything horror, science fiction, paranormal, or basically, to be honest, anything you really kind of throw at me within reason. Let's see. Michael says, this is so cool. All right, thanks for joining us, Michael. David says, good evening. Champagne popped and poured. Cheers. Good evening, David. Thanks for joining us. Cassandra, hi, everybody, she says. Douglas says, hello. Hey, Douglas, thanks for joining us. Paul says, hey, everyone, how is my extended families? Very good. And Paul is on YouTube. Tom. See, if you're on Facebook and you're wondering where some of these comments are coming from, they're coming from our YouTube viewers and vice versa. You can't read across the social media platforms, but I am seeing everybody's comments here. So that's how that works, in case you're wondering. So what we're going to do now, John says, before the big game. That's right. It is time for the big show. I'm Crozak the Grand, and it's time for ChillerNight pre-show with our favorite MVP. You do me kind, sir. Brian Hogue. Thank you. I appreciate that, Crozak the Grand. Douglas says, how does one get the channel you just mentioned? Well, one gets the, they don't currently have the Roku channel up. However, you go to streammedia.tv, and online, if you go to the site, click up on the top, you can click on Watch live. And at 9 o'clock, then you can see, I'll show you what you see. Throw that schedule up here. At 9 p.m., ChillerNight Theater, the movie is Fiend Without a Face. That was one of the live ones that we did a while back. In fact, everything on here tonight were live episodes. 10:35, Dementia 13. At 12:10, ChillerNight Theater will be playing Robot Monster. And at 1:25 a.m., ChillerNight Theater, the movie is The Creeping Terror. There you have it. And again, that's at streammedia.tv. That's on Stream TV at streammedia.tv. So, let's see. Diana says, hi everyone. Paul says, Brian, my phone number is, and then list is the number there. Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you. Tom says, hi Diana. Terrence says, this is TP727, permission to land. Land away, TP727. John says, happy birthday to Lon Chaney Jr. I didn't realize today was Lon Chaney. We had a birthday party, but it was not for Lon Chaney Jr., I gotta say. It was Bradley. Bradley turned 18, so we had a big festivities here at the well, in the Dark Domain, and you may have heard some of our family members leaving here as I was tuning in here, but had a good time. I had a good night. Paul says, call when you can, please. All right. Deborah says, hello, Chiller of Thrillers. Hey, Deborah, thanks for joining us. Carrie says, Michael Hughes, more scarier than the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Who do you think's going to win? I don't know. The Bengals or Los Angeles. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. They were the Rams. Well, they are again, but when I was a kid, they were, of course, Los Angeles Rams, and then they changed their name for many years, and then went back to the Rams. So I like to see that. To me, that they were the Rams. The Eagle has landed, reported for duty, Terrence says. Okay, all right. Wow, what's the news out there, folks? Anybody have any horror news to report? Let's see, Bonehead says, hey, hello, ChillerNight crew, Brian and Ava. Hope everyone is doing well and enjoying the weekend. Yeah, we're doing very well here. I can't complain. Doing well. You know what? I was thinking about this. Now, everything that we put up for tonight's schedule, I'll put this up again just to visually illustrate a point. Fiend Without a Face, Dementia 13, Robot Monster, and The Creeping Terror. All four of those movies were our Friday Night Frights live shows. One of them actually even has Jack Shadow hosting it, The Fiend Without a Face, which was Tom's choice that night that we did that one. But I want to do another one. You know, YouTube has been, well, we spent, I think, an entire episode complaining about YouTube, but I just want to try it again. Let's see. What the heck? Okay. We'll do another one. We'll do another one here. Have to be after the 20th of this month. I don't know. We'll either fit one in at the end of this month or very beginning of March. We'll try it again. Well, again, you know, the worst they can do is shut us down in the middle of a show, which they've already done. So, you know, we'll try it again. All right. I don't want to give up. Let's see. Kevin says, hello, mate. My classic horror host, Tara Vincent, is in the Twilight Zone, LOL, watching the 1980s The Twilight Zone. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool choice for tonight. Brian Ivers says, hello, everyone. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us. Let's see. Paul says, did anyone see Jason Rising from YouTube fan film? Very good. No, I didn't see that. Did you mention that on here before? I saw either that or I saw it while scrolling through YouTube. I did see that. I didn't actually watch it, though. That I kind of forgot about it until you just mentioned it. Glam says, howdy, everyone. The chat is already on fire. Glad to see y'all. Yes, yes. good of you to join us. Glam? Let's see. Tom says, never give up, never surrender. That's right. That's right. Who said that? The Buzz Lightyear? Is that? That's what I think of. I'm thinking it in that voice. Yes. All right. So, yeah, Jason Rising on YouTube. Did you? Yes, I did. Not bad. Okay, you did see that. Okay, awesome. You have to check that out. So you thought it was good. It was a good. Some of those fan films are really, really pretty impressive. I know there's I forget the name of the guy who does this, but he's done some really cool superhero ones. You know, with Superman and Batman, and just he does tremendous work. I think the guy who actually does that, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he actually plays the Joker in his own fan films. He plays, I think he plays Robin or Nightwing, I believe. So I don't know any of their names. I just know I've seen them at one time or another, and I thought they were very impressive. Some of the Star Wars fan films are really, really impressive as well. You just wonder what these people could do with a budget, a substantial budget, you know, because I mean, what they're able to do with bare minimum, I don't know necessarily a shoestring budget, but I mean, maybe they get a lot of support from their fans, from their viewers. But man, if they had a real budget to work with, Lord only knows what they could do. Oh, Thomas is close from Galaxy Quest. Same actor, Tim Allen. That's it. I knew it was the same voice. I could hear Tim Allen saying that. Never give up, never stop. I like that movie, Galaxy Quest. That's actually one I've seen numerous times. Um, I enjoy that one. I think that's funny. Paul says, "Hey Glam, how are you, sweetheart? Happy Val Day. You will be my Will you be my Valentine's?" Glam says, "Bonehead, happy Saturday to you." Yes, happy Saturday. Happy Chiller Night to all of you. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. No new news on my end necessarily, other than the, you know, we've had a stream of new episodes. Now I know we've had, let's see, the Screaming Skull. Just last month we did the Screaming Skull, we did the Creeping Terror, we did Robot Monster, we did Dementia 13, and that was the one we got shut down. Right. But I'm not done. I'm not done. I think we're gonna try. Which one was I gonna do next? I think Mad Monster or something like that. I had a couple people suggest some movies, so I'll double check them with the archives.org, and we'll go from there. But I don't know. We'll do another one. We'll just do another one, just because we'll be little rebels that way. They're gonna shut me down, and that's it. They're gonna pull the plug on this guy. So, let's see. Terrence says, tomorrow we'll be watching season 4 of Disenchantment, then a 1980s movie called Fever Pitch. It's said to be so bad it's good. I I like those kind. Then we'll watch Out the Blue 1980. Then watch Out of the Blue 1980 Dennis Hopper. Cool. Sounds like a good day tomorrow. Tom says, I think it's on Netflix, but there's a 20th anniversary documentary about Galaxy Quest. Was quite good. Oh, really? I have to check that out, because that is a movie that I very much enjoyed. Lisanne says, hello. Hey, Lisanne, thanks for joining us. Glam says, doing well. Oh, hope all's well with you. You have my heart every day of the year, my friend. Aw. That was very kind. Very sweet. I know that they were coming out with a new Resident Evil movie. I don't know what happened with that. I haven't followed up on that. I haven't aggressively pursued this information. I'm trying to remember some of the things that have been mentioned here within the not too distant future, or past, I should say. Let's see, Resident Evil. The biggest thing I've watched recently was the Book of Boba Fett. I know that's not horror, but I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. It's funny, I do see a lot of, I don't know about a lot of it, but I see some criticism of that online. I will never do the spoilers thing, but all I can say is I watched it. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was, I thought it was a fun show. I enjoyed it very much. I hope they do a season 2 of it. So, so there, you know. I don't know. Unless they blatantly go into something with you know, you're thinking, wow, are they trying to ruin the franchise? I don't know. You know, like my opinion of The Last Jedi is that's I think that's what they were doing, or at least it seems that way, just because of how bad it was. But you know, I watched this. I watched The Mandalorian. I watched the Book of Boba Fett. I sat there. I had a lot of fun with the shows, and I'm kind of loving what they're doing with Star Wars. In fact, you know what they've done over the last couple years with the streaming series, I'm very highly encouraged because they're better than the sequel trilogy, in my opinion, and far more better in the content and entertainment with what they're doing there on these series on TV than a movie. So, my opinion. Paul says, there was a Bela Lugosi movie. Do you know the name? There was a Bela Lugosi movie? Do you know the name? There's lots of Bela Lugosi movies. Which, what, a Bela Lugosi movie? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Although I will say, we're coming up on Valentine's Day on Monday, and I believe somebody can fact check me here. If you want. I think it was on Valentine's Day in 1931 that Dracula came out, Universal's Dracula, with Bela Lugosi. So, I don't know. I think that that's worth mentioning because you brought up Bela Lugosi and a few comments back, Valentine's Day. See, I connected them. John says, I'm spending tomorrow watching DKU TV, annual Keiju Bowl marathon, which starts at 8 a.m. Wow, that's dedication. Getting up early to watch that on a Sunday. That's cool. Glenn says, watch ChillerNight's presentation of the Creeping Terror yesterday. Brian was quite dapper. Kind of, oh, thank you. Kind of hooked on that movie. It's a weird mix of entertainment and pain. Yeah. So you heard me mention about the documentary, Creep Behind the Camera, I think it was called, if I remember that right. I watched like half of that. I'll admit I didn't watch the whole thing, but what I saw of it was bizarre. It was so bizarre. What a strange story behind that film. A lot of shady people there in the motion picture business. Even back then, in the days, you'd think of, I don't know if you'd think of them as innocent necessarily, because I think there was a lot of just shady stuff going on. But you know, you definitely don't think of it as the kind of the cult mentality, cutthroat environment that it is today. Of course, you gotta. It took time to grow into it. I don't know. It was so weird. I'm glad Doc Dredd mentioned that. I don't know if Doc's here tonight, but yeah, Doc actually mentioned that, and that's how I knew about it. And I watched a bit of it before I did that episode. So that was to me, that was, you know, more interesting than the movie. Very strange. Very strange. Now I got to watch this documentary Tom mentioned about Galaxy Quest. Terrence says Meatloaf and Louis Anderson passed away a couple weeks ago. Rest in peace. Yeah. Man, that's something. I remember, you know, Meatloaf. I heard him like everywhere on social media, and then I saw. Was it the same day or something? I don't know. It was like back to back there. Paul says, there was a Bela Lugosi movie where he turned people into the opposite sex. What's the name? Oh, I have no idea. I've never heard of that one. But it had to have been probably an Ed Wood one, because Ed was into, like cross-dressing and stuff like that. So I'm sure that was something inspired by the mind of Ed Wood. I think they did Glenn or Glenda. Is it, or I don't know. That's the only one that comes to mind. And the only way I know that is because of the movie Ed Wood that Johnny Depp was in. And I remember them talking about that movie. Other than that, I don't know the movie that you're referring to, because Bela was in so many movies. He was in a ton of movies. So was Boris. So was John Wayne. You know John Wayne. I'm a big Western fan, but John Wayne was in so many. I've no way I've seen them all. I mean, he's in tons and tons of movies, all the way back to, the early 30s. It's just insane how many movies that guy was in. Let's see. Ghoul World Order says, good evening, Brian. I'm getting ready to film some new videos later tonight. Diablos, Undead Prince of Pennsylvania. Okay, good deal. Well, good luck with that. Awesome. Terrence says, I grew up watching Life with Louie on Fox Kids in the late 90s. Yeah. Tom says, I didn't get through Creep Behind the Camera either. Lived up to its name. Yeah, I only made it like halfway through. But yeah, the stuff that they were saying about, I forget the guy's name. The very alias name. I can't remember his name. Yeah, what a creep that guy was. Yeah. Wow. Let's see, Lisa Ann says Super Bowl here in California. Yeah, who you rooting for? You rooting for the Bengals or the Rams? What's your team? Okay, Bonin says Happy Valentine's Day to our sweetheart of Screams, Glam Fangs, and Diana Silvio. Fort Ian Times says Glenn or Glenda. Is that the movie that Paul's referring to, where he okay. I was guessing because of I know it was mentioned in the movie Ed Wood, but that's the only one that I could think of that kind of falls in that category. Condi Rogers says hello from the Ozarks. Hey, all right, well, hello there, and thanks for joining us. It's good having you here with us tonight. We're just chatting away about all things horror, science fiction, paranormal, whatever you want to throw at me and each other. And 1 second here. This actually is chiller related, so I want to check this out real quick. Ah, cool. Okay. Neat. Commenting about this stuff a little later on in the months to come. Let's see, some of those, Glam says some of those dance moves or something else. American bands didn't eat your heart out. I know. Oh my gosh, it was like like 15 minutes of the same dance moves. It was painful to watch, but yeah, it was big dumb fun we all love. Tom says, I never knew that Harold Ramis was the original director for Galaxy Quest. I didn't know that either till I'm just now reading it. I didn't realize that. Huh. Left after a few weeks of shooting, I believe. Is that right? I wonder why. Well, I'll have to watch the documentary. I did not know that. Victor says, hello all. Hey, Victor, thanks for joining us. Tom says, GQ, right, Galaxy Quest, yep. Karen says, Fort Condi Victor. Oh, okay. Fort Condi Victor, I bid you welcome. Bonin says, hey, hello, Victor. Welcome to the ChillerNight crew. Let's see. Paul says, Brian, can you put the pre-show and Friday Night Fright on Retro Network? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how. I wouldn't know how to do that. Um, I don't know. I can't answer that yes or no because I don't know. I suppose I could maybe look into it. Um, let's see. Victor says watching the 1957 The Cat Girl. The Cat Girl sounds interesting. Let's see. Victor Glam says hi. Go World Order. Howdy 14 times and Condi Rogers. Bonehead says just getting to hear from everyone on here is very fun and comforting. It is nice, isn't it? I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to be on here tonight. Look at this; it's 23 after already. Like I said to you, just coming on, we were having an 18th birthday party for my stepson, and everyone was just leaving. We had it earlier today, and just it went up until probably about 10 minutes before I began here. So I wasn't even sure if I was gonna jump on and say, oh, sorry, no show tonight. But here we are. So let's see. Everyone was leaving. Bones says, I'm looking forward to the Penguins game against New Jersey tomorrow. Oh yeah, is that the only game on tomorrow? Yeah, is there any other big games? Douglas says, I know this has nothing to do with horror. Not a problem. We do that. Let's see. But I would completely disavow the last 3 Star Wars entries if it were not for the returning actors from the previous movies. I am on the same page with you, Douglas. I am on that same page. And it's so tempting for me to it's so tempting to me because I want, Star Wars, just, I get on that topic and it's like, because I love that equally as much as the chiller stuff. So I really enjoy, I will say this, I give no spoilers. Because I don't know. This is just stuff I'm hearing on YouTube. So, I mean, who knows what's what? I don't. I certainly don't. But I do hear that they are making a kind of a possible way of erasing the sequel trilogy through what they're doing now. I don't know if that's going to happen. I wish they wouldn't have made that sequel trilogy to begin with, and the way that they did it. Okay, because it was done so poorly. But I think that if there's a way to say that there's 2 timelines, which is what I'm hearing that they're going for, then so be it. If it's done right, I have a problem with all these multiverses, that Marvel and DC are doing, because if you do that, there's no significance to any actions, reactions, consequences. If they did that in a Star Wars world, or just retelling, you could pick up at any. Well, in this storyline, this happens in this storyline, so there's never any any heavy significance. There just isn't. It's not important. If your main character dies, that's not that important because there's a million other timelines to choose from. And I hope that they don't go that route with Star Wars, because I think that would just cheapen it. That would ruin the significance of it, and that is messing now with more of a mythology, a modern mythology, and that's my opinion. Let's see. Oh, geez, I'm missing some comments here. Bonus says, I quit following football after they started kneeling down for the national anthem. I gotta say, yeah, I used to look forward to it, I mean, and I promise the other, I'm not gonna veer off into a political rant. I don't do that. That's not what I do. I'm just commenting on one of the comments by the viewers. But I used to just love looking forward to football. I couldn't wait. And now I couldn't tell you. I just happened to find out last night which teams are playing in the Super Bowl tomorrow. It's the only reason I could even join in with somewhat of a a comment or two about it. I haven't watched football in years, so I hope things get back to normal in more ways than just football. Bonehead says, was that Lugosi movie called White Zombie? Well, White Zombie isn't, it doesn't fit the description of what Paul was saying earlier. But White Zombie is a fantastic movie with Bela Lugosi. In fact, I think it was just last week or the week before I was commenting on, I thought it was last week. We're talking about, I mentioned White Zombie because we were talking about Bela Lugosi. And I gotta say, his performance in that movie, in my opinion, it rivals Dracula. It really does. I just love his performance in that movie. I think he does an outstanding job in that. Some of the things that he can do with that character that he can't do with Dracula. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. Hope you get a chance to check it out. It is public domain, so you can check it out on YouTube, unless YouTube doesn't feel like it that day, which they do to me sometimes. Paul says they have a lot of horror host movies. I didn't know that. Okay, I'll have to check that out if I remember the name of it. And I'll have to scroll back to find it. Retro Network. I hope I don't forget that. Let's see. Where am I at? Diana says, thank you, Bunhead. Hope you enjoy Valentine's Day as well. Hey, Tom Paisley, Gold World Order says. John says the new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000 is going to have a Santo, the Mexican lucha wrestling legend, yes, movie, and he battles Dracula. The new season begins sometime in March. Okay, cool. El Santo. Remember we played an El Santo movie, Samson versus the Vampire Women. They changed the name to Samson instead of Santo. So I think Jack Shadow goes into that a little bit, explains why. So let's see. Tom says they can just take the Star Trek route and create an alternative universe. The writer's best friend. Yeah. The what was the timeline? Start with a K. The other timeline for the new movies. What about Mirror Mirror, the episode of the original series? That was another alternative universe, unless that's the one you're talking about. I know they've done that with Star Trek. Like I said, if they just keep it down to, if they keep it limited and say, no, because of this action here, there's 2 timelines, and that's it, or whatever the case may be. But when they go into this infinite multiverse scenario, like I said, nothing has any significance. You don't really care. You're not invested like you would be at the end of Star Wars, where is Luke going to, the final moments leading up to the Death Star is going to destroy the 4th moon of Yavin, or is Luke going to destroy the Death Star? You're on the edge of your seat, if that's the first time you've seen it, or maybe when you were a kid or something. But if you knew that there were a million other existences where this same scenario played out, and maybe a million others where they didn't get to that point, but it's still a parallel universe, it wouldn't have the impact. It just wouldn't have the impact. So I don't know. You can do it, Star Wars, if you just behave yourselves. All right, just keep it limited. All right, that's my advice to you guys at Lucasfilms. That's a consultation for free. Douglas says damage has already been done. Leave it alone, Disney. I wish it wasn't. I wish it hadn't have been done to begin with. And I could get into what I'm talking about here, and it goes back to the Rebels series. But then As much as I kind of like to, but I will keep it. I will keep it to the chiller theme tonight. But all I can say is if they do it right, if they do it right, please do it right. If they go that route, I don't even know if that's what they're going to do. Gold World Order says there are too many Marvel storylines. They need to slow it down. Yeah, they do. They got really really crazy with it. That, like I said, the multiverse. You know, the reason I'm taking these on and off like I am as much as I am, is because they're not bifocals. They're reading glasses. So when I look over here, it really screws me up. When I look at the screen, that's why I've been doing that. I don't, you know. But yeah, I know when they did that the multiverse thing, it just, if they could wrap it all back, you know, lasso everything, pull it back, get everything tightened up, you know, and back in line, okay. You know, but for them to go the route that they're doing, I like I said, I can't emphasize that enough. I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday, and we've talked about this before. The exact same thing. When you have that many options, parallel universes, it cheapens it. There's no significance to a hero's sacrifice and that little storyline, but that takes away from the significance of it. And you know what I mean? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about there. Um, Terrence says the Star Wars sequel trilogy was a messy dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Gold World Order says White Zombie is the first zombie movie ever filmed. Oh, is that right? The first zombie movie ever filmed. And you know, it's interesting because, and we bring that up too when we're, you know, and Jack Shadow does, and I think we've done that here as well. But and then we've seen these zombie movies all the way up until Night of the Living Dead, where the zombies were basically you know, pretty much somebody who had their soul taken and was controlled by a voodoo master or whatever the case may be, and but we never saw them as, and they were you know, enslaved to that master who would, you know, control their spirit and their physical being, but we never saw them as the that they were supposedly, you know, the reanimated dead. We never saw them as the those you know, the ghouls that were eating the flesh of the living, you know, or like Serpent in the Rainbow. They were like that too, like in White Zombie, you know, that they were affected by the drug, the tetrodotoxin, that would, you know, slow them down to the point that they were. I know that they explained it medically in the movie, that they were slowed down to the point to where there was no vital signs, there was no indication that these people were alive. They were basically in a coma, and even they, with the right type of psychological conditioning, were convinced that they had died, and they were placed underground, and they were aware of everything that was going on, which was, you know, fortifying that idea that they were dead and they were confined, they were doomed, that they were a damned soul, and then they were, you know, retrieved back from the cemetery and would do the bidding of their master. So yeah, but I like our zombies now better. Far more horrifying as far as a monster goes. Not horrifying for the poor victim in these old zombie movies. For Ian Tynes says, "What do you think is Bella's best performance in a film?" Off the top of my head, because he's like one, like I was saying with like Boris and like John Wayne. You know, I know that's not a horror movie, but you know, some of these guys are in so tons and tons and tons and tons of movies. I just like what I was saying about White Zombie, for example. That's a really good. That's a good example of his acting skills. You know, I don't know. That's a good one there, White Zombie. I don't. Is that my? I like Dracula. It's kind of like I was saying last week. You know, when asked something like a favorite, I don't know that I can give you a favorite because I have such a varied appreciation for the movies and these actors and my favorite what might be my favorite right now might not be my favorite tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like that's how I go with these things. I have a big love for all of this stuff, so it's hard for me to lock into a favorite. But Dracula, White Zombie, those are fantastic examples of Bella's performances. Douglas says, where can a new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000 be seen? I don't know. I don't personally know. Maybe someone on here knows. Or Ian Time says, Igor on the Ghost of Frankenstein, his performance. I did like his character in that one. He was hanged and he was, they couldn't convict him again. They couldn't put him to death again. He survived and they couldn't sentence him to death again, so that was kind of funny. Let me put up the schedule again, and then we'll hit that again before the end of this show. At 9 o'clock tonight on Stream TV at streammedia.tv, streammedia.tv, the movie is Fiend Without a Face. Fiend Without a Face. 10:35, ChillerNight Theater, the movie is Dementia 13. At 12:10 a.m., ChillerNight Theater, the movie is Robot Monster. And at 1:25 a.m., ChillerNight Theater, the movie is The Creeping Terror. So there you have it. There you have it. Now that's on Stream TV, and you can find that channel at streammedia.tv. Go there to that site, and at the top you can select Watch Live. Hit that at 9 o'clock, and you can watch the stream. And the times are different. We did a different thing with the schedule because now I'm playing them more back to back. There might, just so I have it playing on a 5-minute increment, there might be 3-4 minutes in between one of these shows. I think that's probably about the most. But pretty much they're playing back to back. And if you forget that schedule at any time, you can still go to streammedia.tv and look up the online schedule at any time. So let's see. Terrence says Bela Lugosi was best in Dracula. All right. Glam says doing Super Ghoul World Order. Hope is fantastic in your neck of the woods. Fort Ian Time says I read they were making a new Jaws with Richard Dreyfuss and Michael Caine. Is that right? Why? And is it? How? I just wonder why. Why would they do that? I don't know. That was in my opinion, they should have just kept that movie at the original, which was the best. In my opinion, that was the best. And then I enjoyed part 2 as a kid, but then, seeing it later, part of me is like, why did they make a part 2? That movie would have done so great just standing alone, I understand from a certain point of view why they would make their 2 and 3 and Jaws Revenge and all this, but I don't know. That's unfortunate because it was a good one to have as a standalone film. I wonder why they would do that. Tom says I used to find the term canon really irritating, but much more maddening when they throw consistency and story arcs right out the window. Yeah. I gotta go back to the Star Wars thing. It's funny because they have all these side stories that are coming out in comic form, for example, and they're canon. They're canon, and then they you're seeing the live action stuff now that are kind of going away from what supposedly was canon. And I don't necessarily care because I mean, in that particular instance, just because I didn't read the comics, or at least the ones that they're referring to. But yeah, I don't know. Glam says, unfortunately, I don't have the strength or attention span for multiverses and different timelines. I agree. Feels like too much work to follow sometimes. You know what I liked back when I was a kid? You read the comic book. It was a continuing story, and at the bottom of the little frame that they were referring to. Yeah, I remember when we fought Doctor Doom, and and then they'd have a little reference. See in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 293. They would go back to they'd have a little asterisk there, and then they'd connect it to a story that didn't matter how many lines of comics or stories, they were all in the same universe. They were all ongoing, and you could go back and refer to them. I like that. I miss that. That's me growing up as a kid. That's the way it was done. And then, oh boy, when did that start? Would it start in the 90s? Was it the 80s? I don't know. In the 80s, no, they were still reading the comics. And they were still doing that. So I don't know. I don't know when they got away from that. I wish they hadn't. But in a way, I can see. I can see just like the monsters. At some point, if it really is going to be an ongoing continuation, although Bruce Wayne. I mean, that story started back in the late 30s. Superman. Why not just take that and have them uh, go through our timeline like we are doing, instead of recreating it all the time. Um, the kid, they grow up, they take on an apprentice, and that person becomes the next. Um, it'd be kind of weird. It'd be kind of like the Lone Ranger, and he's just starting up in the 2000s, because they can't get past that. They just can't let it go and say that he's taken on a student and an apprentice, and teaching him the ways of being the hero. And if they continue with that character, I don't know. Wow, there's an idea, huh? Like they should have done that with Robin. Robin would have been the next Batman, and so on. Just continuing with that cycle. Bonus says 14 times a new Jaws. That's going to be darn near impossible to top the original. Yeah. 14 times says maybe they can make the shark look real in a new one. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Tom says Bruce the shark. I almost said, I said, what are they going to do? What are they doing to Bruce? They bringing back Bruce? I don't know. To me, that was kind of the fun about the 70s and 80s movies, was the practical effects. They weren't perfect by any means, but I enjoy seeing them because they're so dated, and I don't know. To me, I guess that's the nostalgia, the love for these movies back when I was a kid. Seeing them with those effects is part of the charm of the movie. I think. But yeah, you're right. I'm sure they would make a very realistic looking shark nowadays. John says, would you show a block of episodes of shows like Lights Out or One Step Beyond for a ChillerNight show? I don't remember that. Lights Out or One Step Beyond. I gotta say, I'm not familiar with those shows. I don't know. First of all, I'd have to check and see if they're in the public domain. Um, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. Because if it was a block of episodes, then whenever I showed them again, I'd have to always make sure that they were. Because here's the thing: if someone didn't like that particular episode or that series, they might, and they kind of like the randomness of watching The Creeping Terror or a White Zombie. that might be what they're looking forward to every Saturday night is something like that. And if they don't like that movie, like Ega, why did that come to mind? They know next week, it's probably going to be okay. But if this, I don't know that, and I'm just explaining it off, shooting from the hip here because that's my initial thought on that is it's a neat idea, but I don't know. I'd have to make sure that the majority of the viewers would be in on that decision. So that's my only reasoning why I'd be hesitant about it. Goal World versus Bonehead. 40 in times. Tom Paisley. I always thought Bruce the Shark looked real. I know that I was terrified of that shark when I was a kid. I mean, it really, even when I used to go to the swimming pool, the public swimming pool, and just the idea of seeing something that thought, I don't know, that was scary. That was scary to me. Could you imagine? Because Bruce was supposed to be what, like a 30-foot great white shark, something like that. Just a huge, huge great white shark. I don't know, that in and of itself. We've talked about this before on this show here, and I would much rather take my chances against the Wolfman. Lon Chaney Jr.'s birthday. I'd much rather take my chances against something like that or against half a dozen zombies than I would being in the water or even in a small boat up against Bruce. That to me is terrifying. That idea is just terrifying of a great white shark. That I don't know. I thought it was scary, but yeah, what could they do now? They could do so much better. Tom says, I saw Bruce on a Universal Studio tour once back in the 90s. Wasn't bad. Oh, that's cool. Didn't Greg Nicotero recently, with he and his crew, start to restore Bruce? I thought I had seen that just within the last couple of years. I thought that they were doing that. Sheila says, love White Zombie. Good movie. Ghoul World Order says Bela Lugosi was also Frankenstein's monster, and Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. That was one of the. Well, actually, I was thinking. Yeah, he was the monster. Of course, we know Boris. We know Glenn Strange had played the monster. Lon Chaney Jr. played the monster in The Ghost of Frankenstein. Lon Chaney Jr., speaking of this being his birthday that somebody had mentioned earlier, Lon played them all, didn't he? He played Frankenstein's monster in The Ghost of Frankenstein. He played the Wolfman, of course, in the Wolfman, House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. He played Dracula in Son of Dracula. Not sure why they called it Son of Dracula, because he was supposed to be Dracula. He played the Mummy in The Mummy's Hand, or not The Mummy's Hand, that was Tom Tyler. The Mummy's Ghost, The Curse of the Mummy's Curse. And what the heck was the other one? There's three of them. Karis the Mummy. The Mummy's Ghost, the Mummy's Curse, The Mummy's Tomb. I don't know. I'm just thinking of what sounds like a mummy movie. And then, yeah, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, and the Mummy. Pretty neat. All right. Let's see. 14 times says it would be a sequel, Jaws 5. Is that what they're going to do? I wonder if that's what they're going to do. And bringing Richard Dreyfuss back as his character, that he was the young guy back in the first one. I suppose if they did that, it would be, I suppose, kind of neat to see that. You know what? Everything depends on the writer, who they get to write it. Is there a good reason why we're seeing, these big sharks? Why? If they could really, give me a decent answer as to why these big sharks keep coming in. You know, keep an open mind. Let's see. But it says a new Jaws would be good if they don't rely on CGI too much. It would be kind of cool to see a practical effect shark. I think they could do it. I think they could do it. Maybe a mix, you know. Bonehead says, like Jurassic Park. Look at what they did with Jurassic Park. Oh my gosh, you know, that was fantastic what they did. That was a mix of practical effects with the CGI. That's what I could see them doing that with the Jaws movie. Not real crazy yet about this idea of a new Jaws movie, but if it was done right, it all is dependent on the writer. Get a good writer, you'll have, I don't know. Bonehead says, I went crazy when the original Jaws came out. I must have went to the theater and drive-ins and watched it about 20 times. Love that movie. It was a good movie. I love that movie. John says, Bella and White Zombie was great, but he was very menacing in The Black Cat. Oh, that's another good one, yeah. Sheila says, like with Poltergeist, second was okay, third, straight time waster. I've never seen, the first one was obviously the movie, yeah. I agree, second one is, and I didn't even see the third. I didn't even know they made a third one, to be honest with you. And I'm pretty up on a lot of these movies, especially that was a mainstream movie, so for me to not even know they made a third one, they really trailed off. Jaws 2 was good. 40 Ian Time says, Jaws 2 was good, 3 and 4 were bad, but we're glad they exist. Bonin says, Jaws 5, the sequel, Bruce gets dentures. Yeah. Let's see. Tom says 1976 was a long time ago. Bonin says, well, Tom, Bruce would be about 50 years older by now, LOL. 40 and Time says, The Exorcist remake is coming out. Really? That, to me, that's like, that's one of those, that should have been a one and done, you know, like they had that one time. And boy, what a reaction it had. What an effect it had on the viewer. But you know, he really has that you know, the first time you see it, like the Blair Witch Project. Those are two movies that the first time viewing it, I had that creepy feeling, you know, that and I enjoyed that, you know, like listening to the really scary ghost story when you're a kid, you know. But there's some movies where you only get that, you know, that catch that lightning in the bottle just that one time, and that's my opinion. Maybe they'll do a bang up job with an Exorcist remake. I don't know. Some of these remakes, not all of them, but most of them, I'd say, are, you just wonder why they do it. Gulrodor says, the one Marvel movie that holds a special place for me is Ghost Rider. I'll take that over all of them. Is that right, Ghost Rider? I like the character of Ghost Rider. I didn't like their choice of Nicolas Cage as Johnny. You know, the cyclist guy who turns into the Ghost Rider. Brad says, it's a ChillerNight pre-show. Brian Oak stirring Brian Oak. Now here's Brian. Hey, Brad. Here I am. Brad says, sorry I'm late. Hey, I'm glad you joined us. We got a few minutes left. Bonin says, I'm with you on that Ghoul World, or any movie with a skeleton for a main character is A-okay with me. Or a horror host. So, speaking of that, the first movie tonight anyways, Fiend Without a Face, will have Jack Shadow. The rest has his stand-in. So, but I was having fun. And I hope you were too. It's going to be like that for a little bit this year. So, let's see. Bonehead, a flaming skeleton. Figures Bonehead would like Ghost Rider, you know, that makes all the sense in the world. A flaming skeleton on a motorcycle is badassery I can't turn down, right? He was always such a... I love that character. When I remember as a kid reading his comics. Glam says, good luck to any new Jaws movies when you have such a recent classics like Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus. Movies like that are hard to beat. Yes, yes, yes. Going up against such classics. Doug says, probably will be bad. Remember the Fog remake. I know. Bonehead says, sorry about that Ghoul World Order. I tried to type too fast. Tom says, Arch Obler's Lights Out, definitely public domain. Oh. Okay, now my understanding of what I was reading there, it's a series? Is it a series? That's how I understood it, and that's what I was responding to. If it's a movie, then, or maybe like a 2 or 3-parter, that's definitely something that's doable. If it's something that's an ongoing series, I don't know. There might be a different way to go about it. I don't know that I'd make it the feature, movie like the 9 o'clock Saturday night one. I don't, unless it was just a couple movies. I don't know. I have to look into this Lights Out because I'm not familiar with it, to be honest with you. Sheila says, yes, straight ruined it. To Douglas. Ghoul World Order says, all sharks kind of look rubbery anyways. That's why I always thought Bruce looked real. I thought he looked... Okay, give it to... Oh, it's 8:59. Look how far back I am in all these comments. Just imagine seeing that in the water. I mean, that's horrible. Hey, guys, I'm going to throw up the schedule real quick. Didn't realize it was that late. Fiend Without a Face on here in just a minute. 10:35, Dementia 13, 12:10, Robot Monster, and 1:25 a.m., The Creeping Terror. Thank you, everybody, for such a captivating chat tonight. Appreciate it. And thanks for joining me and each other. Have a good night. Have a good chiller night. We'll see you next week.